Global migration. You hear that phrase all the time, right? In the news, in politics, it's everywhere. But what are we really talking about when we say it? It seems simple on the surface, but honestly, it's one of the most complex, most powerful forces shaping our world today. So, okay, let's get into it and really understand what's going on. I want to start with just one number, 3%. That's it. According to the United Nations, that's roughly the slice of the entire world's population living outside the country they were born in. Now, I know 3% might not sound like a lot, but think about it. We're talking about hundreds of millions of people, hundreds of millions of individual stories, journeys, and lives. Suddenly, that small percentage feels massive. You know, people moving from one place to another, that's as old as humanity itself. It's baked into our DNA. But what's happening right now, in our lifetime, is different. Experts are calling this the age of migration. And why? It's not because moving is new. It's because the sheer scale, the sheer number of people on the move today is unlike anything we've ever seen before. And wow, this really drives that point home. Just look at these numbers. Back in 1985, you had about 105 million international migrants. Fast forward just 25 years to 2010, and that number has more than doubled to 214 million. This isn't just a gradual increase, it's an explosion. It's an acceleration that has completely changed the game. Okay, so we've got a sense of the scale. We know the numbers are huge. But if we're going to have a meaningful conversation, we all need to be on the same page. We've got to be using the same vocabulary. So let's get down to the absolute basics. What exactly is an international migrant? Let's unpack this definition, because there are a few really key ideas baked in here. It's not just about moving. Number one, it's a permanent or semi-permanent change. So we're not talking about a 2-week vacation. Number two, you have to cross state boundaries. You're moving from one country to another. And number three, there's a time element involved. Each one of those pieces is absolutely crucial to the definition. All right, a definition is one thing. That's the textbook part. But how do you take that definition and turn it into a real number? How do organizations like the UN actually track and count millions of people moving all over the globe? Well, it turns out there are two totally different ways to look at it. And I absolutely love this analogy here. On the one hand, you can measure migrant stock. Think of it like taking a photo, a snapshot. It tells you exactly how many migrants are living in a country on, say, January 1st. But then there's migrant flow, which is more like a video. It's dynamic. It tracks how many people are arriving and how many are leaving over a whole year. You really need both to see the whole picture. So we've covered the how many and the what, but now let's get to the real heart of it all, the why. I mean, why would someone leave everything they know, their home, their family, their culture, to start over somewhere completely new? Well, experts have this really simple but incredibly powerful way of explaining it. It all boils down to two forces, push and pull. Push factors are all the negative things that literally push someone out of their home. We're talking about things like war, natural disasters, or persecution. Then you have the pull factors. Those are the positive things that pull someone toward a new country, like the promise of a better job, good schools for their kids, or just the chance to be with family again. Every single migrant story is a different mix of these push and pull forces. Now, imagine you're a researcher. You've got millions of individual stories, driven by all these different push and pull factors. How on earth do you even begin to make sense of all that data? You need some kind of system, right? A toolkit to help you sort through it all. And this is where a brilliant framework comes in, from a scholar named Fabio Baggio. It gives us 5 different lenses to look through. You can classify migration by geography. Did they cross an ocean or just a border? By time. Are they staying for a year or forever? By demographics. Is it a single, highly skilled worker or a whole family? By legal status. Are they documented or undocumented? And maybe most importantly, by cause. Was it a free choice or were they forced to leave? Using these helps bring some real clarity to a very complex topic. Okay, so we've got a definition, we've got ways to measure, we even have this super detailed system for classifying everyone. It really feels like we should have this all figured out, doesn't it? Like we should be able to get a perfect, clean, tidy number. Well, this is where things get really complicated. Because the reality on the ground, it's messy. It is so much blurrier than any chart or graph can ever show. And all these challenges make the task of counting every single migrant in the world, well, pretty much impossible. And here are the big 3 reasons why those official numbers are always a bit fuzzy. First, different countries actually define migrant in different ways, so you're not always comparing the same things.
Second, and this is a huge one, official counts, by their very nature, are going to miss people who are undocumented. And third, what do you do with the children of migrants born in the new country? Are they counted? Their status can be really unclear. So at the end of the day, any number you see is always going to be an estimate.
So where does all this leave us? We know the numbers are massive, the definitions are technical, but the reality is just incredibly messy. The real challenge, then, isn't just about counting people. It's about understanding the complexity behind every single one of those numbers. So the next time you hear a statistic about migration, maybe the better question isn't just how many, but what are the stories, what are the systems, and what are all the blurry lines that make up that single number? Because that's where true understanding really begins.